I think it's really important to use creativity to build your business. And when you say something like that, it's really easy to think in a broad term like, what does he mean by using creativity? I think it's really important to create an environment where people can brainstorm in a real creative manner. What we do is what I like to call informal creative brainstorming sessions. And what that is it isn't getting everybody in a conference room and saying, what are your ideas, and shooting them down or not shooting them down. It's about locking up your top people in a room, oftentimes with a few beers, in an informal manner, and then kicking around ideas and putting in enough time. Make it an unlimited time frame. Just lock yourself in there, come up with ideas, order some pizzas and have some beers, and see what comes out of it. You'd be surprised at the informal creative process. And oftentimes, just a little bit of encouragement in the right environment, you can get some great ideas out of your people. So don't be scared to create an informal brainstorming session, because what you'll find is some great ideas. Another thing is you will find a lot of inspiration from unrelated companies. We tend to only look at companies in our industry for ideas with how we can build our business. But one of the things I like to do is look at companies in completely unrelated businesses that do things that are really cool and see how you can incorporate that into your business. And even though I'm in financial services, one of the things I like to do is look at fashion websites, I'll look at really creative artists' websites, I'll look at all different types of businesses that have unique and interesting ways to market their business, and then I try to apply that within my business. So don't be scared to look at companies that are completely unrelated to your business and take some of the ideas that you really like with them and try to apply them to your business. It's really good to surround yourself with no people and just not yes people. Typically in companies, we tend to have lots of people when you're in charge and you get in a room and you say, we want to be creative, and you say, this was my idea, and the subordinate people will say, oh, that's a great idea, we love that idea, but the truth is they don't want to take the risk of saying, actually I don't like that idea, and why don't we try this, because they don't want to be contradicting to the president of the company or to the creative people. But what you really want in a room when you're coming up with ideas are the no people. The people say, no, I don't like that idea per se, what about this, and kicking it around. And what I found is some of the best ideas that I've ever come up with, I didn't come up with, and I actually probably didn't like the idea, and then the no person convinced me that maybe this was a good idea, and because I took the position of not liking the idea at first and then being convinced of it, when we actually implement those ideas, they tend to work very well. So when you have a group of people that aren't going to necessarily agree automatically, what you end up getting is much better results, because now, as long as you take your ego out of having your ideas manipulated or shot down and look at it as that is the process, what you get is much better results. So try to get no people in the room, not just yes people in the room. Don't assume that your big competitors are doing it right. A lot of times we think because the big players are so successful that they must be doing something right. But one of the things you have to take into consideration is many of those businesses are very old and very mature businesses that aren't run by their founders anymore. Maybe the founder of the business 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100 years ago was a genius with great ideas and so on and so forth, but now a completely different management, a completely different business is being run from what it was when it started, because they're successful. But it doesn't mean they're doing it right now. So just because they're big and successful doesn't mean you should be trying to copy their ideas, okay? They might be doing it completely wrong, and that's where the opportunity is for you as the business owner. Another thing is to find a way to differentiate your customer experience from what your competitors are doing. One of the things we like to do is we like to pretend we're customers of our competitors and see how they handle the business. And what we learn from that is, okay, here's the experience they're having with our main competitors. How do we differentiate ourselves so that when they call us or when they come into our office, they have a better experience, a different experience? Differentiating yourself is really important. So one of the things we do at my firm is we don't have a phone tree. I'm in financial services. When you call most financial firms, you get the phone tree. Oh, press 1 for this, press 2 for that. I personally hate it. If I hate it, I think other people hate it. So we have a real live human being actually answer the phone. Something as simple as that differentiates ourselves from all of our major competitors. But what we find is that clients are really happy talking to a person and not having to go through a phone tree and not having to try to find who it is or whatever they're talking to. Create an experience for your customer that separates you from your competitors. So these are some of the things that I do to try to keep being creative in building my business. By applying different ideas, by testing different things, I'm able to come up with great new ideas for my business so we can continue to grow and continue to differentiate ourselves from our competitors.